Friction. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss about friction. So what is this friction? We already discussed about friction in the previous chapter, force and pressure. So what is friction? It is a kind of force. It is a kind of contact force. Friction, we can call it as frictional force, as it is a force. So we're going to discuss about the frictional force, what it is and how it is affected, and what are the uses, advantages with this force, and what are the disadvantages with this force. So frictional force, as I told you, the frictional force is a contact force. It is a contact force. That means the force that comes into play when two surfaces, when two objects or when two bodies are in contact, then it comes into play. You can feel the frictional force. If you rub your hands this way, you will generate some heat. This is out of the frictional force. Due to the frictional force, heat is generated here. You keep or you just kick a ball on the road or on a ground. Just you kick it. The ball, it moves, it travels some distance, and finally it stops at one place. Just you throw a wheel, a tire, cycle tire, it rolls. After rolling some distances, it falls down. So if you have any pencil, round pencil, you roll the pencil on the table, it will roll. After some time it will stop. What makes these objects stop? So in the force lesson we studied, an object cannot be stopped without applying force. But here you are not applying any force, the ball automatically stops. Can I use the word automatically? So here is a ball, just you kicked it, it will move to some distance, then it will stop. So what is stopping the ball? The ball is in contact with the ground. So this is one surface, this is surface 1, ground is surface 1 and ball is surface 2. These two surfaces are in contact. When two surfaces are in contact and one of the object is moving, the other object, it applies the force in the opposite direction, that is the frictional force. So here we understood one point, that frictional force is a contact force. It depends upon the surfaces of the objects. The surfaces of the two objects which are interacting, they should come in contact with each other. So then the frictional force, it works and it makes the moving bodies stop. If a body is moving, say for example, I am riding a bicycle. I am continuously applying force with my pedals. I am pedaling the cycle. As I am pedaling the cycle is moving. But suddenly I see a cow or a buffalo coming across the road. Suddenly. Then what do? I need to apply some force to stop the bicycle. Otherwise I may hit the buffalo. So what do? Then immediately I apply the brakes. So what I am doing by applying the brakes? By applying the brakes, I am making the wheels to get stuck. The wheels are rolling. I am making the wheels to stuck. The surface of the wheel and surface of the road, there will be more friction. Then because of the friction, the bicycle stops. So this is the surface. Here are the wheels of the bicycle. So here are the wheels. So the bicycle is going on. Here the wheels, they are rolling. This is the road surface, this is the tire surface. So when they are rolling, even then there is some friction. But when I apply the brakes, the rolling wheels stop. Then there will be more friction between the road and the tire. So because of the friction, I'm able to stop the vehicle. Now let us understand why there will be more friction when we stop the bicycle, when we apply the brakes. In fact, the friction is same. But when the bicycle is being pedaled, the force is being applied continuously on the bicycle to move. We are applying, the person who is cycling, he is applying continuous force. So because of the continuous force, so the force which is being applied by the pedals, that force is more than the frictional force. That is why the bicycle is not stopped. It is going on. Here the friction is applied by the road continuously. But it is not sufficient to stop the bicycle. Why? Because the person is pedaling the bicycle. So that force is greater than the frictional force. So the bicycle is going on. But when I apply the brakes, means when I stop the wheels, when I stop applying the force. So when I am applying the brakes, then I will stop pedaling also. So then the force to move the bicycle is less compared to the frictional force being applied on the tires is more. So the bicycle stops. So that is a difference. But here one point we have to identify that when two surfaces are in contact, there will be some force working on the moving body in opposite direction. That is the frictional force. There are so many instances, so many examples in our day-to-day life where we can observe the friction. So now let us see some examples, some activities by which we can understand some more things about this friction. The first one, the first activity is sliding a book. So on a flat surface table. So there is a table. So on this table, we placed one book. One book. So you are sliding the book, just you are pushing the book, it is moving. Right? So you have to apply some force to move the book. You try it from this direction, you have to apply some force. So now what? You feel that it is little bit heavy. You can see that the book is very heavy. Just think it is some Oxford dictionary, some heavy book, or encyclopedia, heavy book. So you need to apply more force. It needs more pressure to move. So you need to apply more force from both sides. The force should be more, the strength should be more. So now what I did is, I kept a thin polythene film under the book. Thin film. Then I pushed the book. With a little force, I could move the book. Little force in the sense, I compare with the previously applied force. When there was no thin film of polythene paper, there applied force. If I compare that force and the force applied when there is polythene film, the second time the force is less. That means with little force I could move it. Why? Because we can see the difference between the surfaces. Earlier the book is in direct contact with the table surface. Now the book is not in direct contact with the table surface, it is in contact with the thin film, polythene film. So the second time with less force I can move it. I can save energy, I can save force, right? So what is the difference here? Surfaces. So here we can understand one point. Friction depends upon the surfaces, the smoothness of the surfaces, right? So you're able to walk on the floor. So you have a tiled room. In your room, there are ceramic tiles. So you can walk. Of course, you don't slip. But it is a wet floor. Suddenly your floor is mopped. So it is not yet dry. Just now your floor is mopped. Then you are entering the room. It is a wet floor. Just if you try to walk on the wet floor, then what happens? You may slip. So what is the difference? This is a tile, this is a dry tile, and this is your feet. So the surface is dry tile and your skin. These are the two surfaces. They are a bit rough. So there is more contact. So there is more friction. You don't slip. Wet floor. So this is the wet floor. Here is the water droplets or water film. So here the water is in the form of a thin film. So when you put your leg, because of the thin film, the contact between the tile and your leg is not intimate. So the surfaces are smoothened by the water film. So you will slip. So with this example, what we can understand? The surface is very important in relation to the friction. The friction will be more with rough surfaces. The friction will be less with flat surfaces or smooth surfaces. So you might be knowing the game Carom's board. So there will be a board which is having holes or pockets on four sides. You have a markings here and you will be having a striker with which you strike the coins. So you hit the coins, you need to apply more force and you are not sure these coins are simply sliding into the pockets. The friction is more. To reduce the friction, what do? You apply some powder. So when you apply some powder, the coins, they slide so quickly, so smoothly, because the friction between the coin and the board is less, reduced because of the powder. How can water reduce friction here? How can powder reduce friction here? How the friction is reduced? To understand this, we need to know the complete detail of the surfaces which are coming in contact. Right, let us see. Here you are walking on a ground. Just if you see the ground, you will find it is flat. Yes, I am walking on this floor. The floor is flat. I am walking with my bare foot. I am walking with my bare foot. You may just think that, yes, the ground is flat, my feet are flat, but even then I am able to hold the grip, I am not slipping. Why? See, the surfaces, they may appear flat from long distance. If you go to the minute detail, just if you see this part in a magnifying glass, if this is your leg will be having so many irregularities like this. And this is the floor will be having so many irregularities like this. We cannot see with our naked eye. If you observe it closely with the help of a magnifying glass, then you can see that. So these irregularities. The floor is not flat, it is irregular. Otherwise you don't get the grip. If it is very flat, so fine, so smooth, just you will slip off. There are irregularities. So these irregularities on your feet and the irregularities on the surface, they will come in contact, they are intimate. They are locking each other. See, when these two rough surfaces, they come in contact, they lock each other. So the friction is more between two rough surfaces compared to two smooth surfaces. Right? So now let us understand one more example. I will draw it here. This is the road or this is the floor. These are the irregularities. It is not soft. Irregularities. That's why who is walking here, he doesn't slip. Somebody threw a banana peel. This is a banana peel. So when this banana peel falls on the irregularities, the banana surface is smooth. If somebody keeps their feet here, they will slip. Because the rough surface is made smooth by the banana peel. That is the reason. So surface is very important. When there are two objects, they are coming in contact, and if the two objects, they have a rough surface, the friction will be very high. If the surface of the object is smooth, friction is less. Say you have two balls in your hand, A, B. Two balls. One ball is a plastic ball. Plastic. One ball is a woolen ball. Woolen. The plastic ball will be having a less irregularities compared to woolen ball, or cloth ball, or rubber ball. Just you kept the balls on same surface, on the same table. Which one will move more distance? The plastic one, because it has got smooth surface. The roughness of the surface is less. So if the roughness of the surface is less, the friction is less. The roughness of the surface is more, the friction is more. So the roughness of the surface is one important point which will decide the frictional force. The roughness or smoothness of the surface. I have written two more examples here. Pulling a brick. Here in the earlier case, I told you when I kept a book on the table, just I pushed the book, I felt more force is applied. When I placed a polythene film under the book, then I pushed it, less force. We can calculate it also. We can practically see more force, less force with different surfaces. For this experiment, we need to have a brick. This is a brick. Here is a brick. So this brick is tied with a string, and the string is attached to a spring balance. What is a spring balance? Spring balance is a device which is used to weigh the mass of an object, weight of an object, right? So weight of an object. So here is the spring balance. So we are pulling the end of the spring balance. Here we can see the reading. How much force we are applying to pull the brick? How much force we are applying to pull the brick? We are applying 500 grams, just you think. 500 grams to pull the brick. Now, I wrapped the brick in a polythene sheet, thin polythene sheet, a very flat polythene sheet. I wrapped the sheet around this brick. Now I am pulling with the spring balance again. Now will it be 500 grams again? No, it is less, 250 grams. Why? The force is reduced. With little force you can pull because of the polythene film. The difference between the surface. Earlier, the brick is on the table. Brick is a rough surface, table rough surface. Both are rough surfaces, more friction. More force has to be applied to move. Less friction, less force has to be applied to move. That is the case. Now see the another example, rolling a pencil. So a boy, he kept a book like this and another cardboard like this on the table. So this is a ramp. Here he kept a pencil, a small battery. So he rolled that. The battery, it rolls here, it travels till here. When the table is flat, the battery rolls, no problem. The table is much more smooth compared to other objects. Now the boy placed a cloth here. This is the cloth. So now he released the battery. The battery may travel till here only. The battery may travel till here. Because the cloth is a much more rough surface, the cloth will have so many irregularities compared to the table. After that, the boy placed some sand over here. Some sand. He left the battery. It may not go till here even. Because the sand is having so many irregularities compared to the cloth. So as the surface becomes more and more rough, the friction will be more. So by that the motion of the object is decreased and finally brought to stop. So the friction depends on the surface. It is proved by the different activities which we have seen here. So we have learnt about one important thing about this friction. So friction is a force. Friction is a kind of force. So this force, it comes into act or it comes into play when two surfaces come in contact. So here the friction is caused by the irregularities on the two surfaces in contact. This is the fact which we are exploring now. So what we learned, the friction is an opposing force. It comes into play when two surfaces come in contact. It is a contact force. But why it comes? Actually, what is the reason? It is because of the irregularities. So what are these irregularities? Say for example, you see a ball, you have a rubber ball or a tennis ball. So when you see the ball, you think that it is all, the surface of the ball is smooth, soft, smooth. So without any bumps, you feel it. But there are some irregularities. You cannot see with your naked eye. If you take a magnifying glass or any other visual aid to see that the minute irregularities, then you will find the surface will be like this. If this is the surface, like this. So these are called as irregularities. Irregularities. So this is one surface. So friction comes into play when two surfaces come in contact. So here is the another surface. Say this is surface 2. This is surface 2, right? This is surface A, this is surface B. Now there is no friction, but when they come in contact, because of these irregularities, they interlock with each other. So this interlocking make the motion rigid, make the movement hard. So if these irregularities are not there, if one is placed on the other, one to the other, if they come in contact, they can slide easily. But because of these irregularities, they cannot slide easily. Now let us see. Let me bring both the surfaces in contact. So now you see I brought this surface A in contact with surface B. Now you can see that the patterns, they are interlocking. So as they are interlocking, now sliding is difficult. That is the reason when you throw a ball on the floor, just you roll a ball on the floor, it rolls to some distance. So after that, naturally it stops. So some force is stopping the ball. What is that force? The opposing force. So the surface of the ball and surface of the floor, both are coming in contact. Both the surfaces, they have irregularities. See, irregularities. So as these irregularities are getting interlocked, so there is friction. So because of the friction, the ball stops. So here, one more thing we are going to notice here. When two surfaces are in just contact, the interlocking is, the force of interlocking or the resistance of this caused because of the interlocking is less. It can slide with some force, right? So interlocking is not complete. You see here, there is some gaps. If you press the surface with some weight, I kept one brick here, one brick. Because of the heavy weight, the surface A is pressed to surface B. Then the interlocking is more deep, more intact. The binding is more intact because of the weight. So they are locked further. Now the friction is high. I will give you an example. See, this is the floor. Here is a mat. So if you wanted to pull the mat, there is some friction between the mat and the floor. There are some irregularities beneath the mat and there are some irregularities on the surface of the floor. You can pull the mat easily, even though irregularities are there, because the interlocking is not much intact. If a boy is sitting here, you see here, there sits a person. So now you pull this. What happens? No, there will be more resistance. You cannot easily pull the mat as you have pulled when it is free, empty. Nobody is there. But at this time here, there is a person sitting. So when he is sitting, he is pressing the surface onto the other surface. He is pressing the mat onto the floor. So when two surfaces are pressed together, the irregularities, they pack very tightly. So there is more friction. Right. So this is what we are exploring here at this instance. So the irregularities, they have irregularities, surfaces, they have irregularities. So when these irregularities, they lock together, this interlocking, it creates more friction. As the object is becoming heavier and heavier, the friction is more. You know that you can easily move an empty box, but it is difficult to move a heavy box. So you have got a television packed to your home, a new television or refrigerator. So the television or refrigerator is in the carton box, cardboard box. So when it is having the television or when it is having the refrigerator or washing machine in the box, you cannot move it easily. But when it is empty, you can easily move that. So if the objects are light, then the friction will be less. Now let us see here two instances here. Here we have two surfaces. Here we have two surfaces. Now here both the surfaces are in contact. There is some friction. But here we are going to find some differences between these two circumstances. In this case, two surfaces, say this is 1, this is 2. One is moving. Somebody is pushing this surface. So this is some box. Someone is pushing the box. So one surface is sliding on the other surface. As the object or the surface is sliding, it cannot make proper interlocking with the other surface. As it is sliding, because it is moving, it is not stationary. As it is moving, it cannot properly interlock with the other irregularities. So these irregularities, they do not properly match with the bottom irregularities because we are not giving sufficient time for interlocking. We are sliding it. You are dragging some box. You are dragging some heavy weight. You are dragging some brick. So the brick cannot make interlocking with the other surface because it is moving. You are not giving the time to get interlocked. You are just pulling it off. This is the circumstance 1. The second case, you see, you kept one heavy weight on the floor or on the table. Then what happens? So just it is stationary. You left it like that. Then there is more chance for the interlocking, more time, right? Because of the gravity, the top heavy object is pulled down. So because of that, it can make proper interlocking with the second surface. The first and second surfaces, they get properly interlocked. So what happens? So here is also friction, here is also friction. But there is some difference. What is this difference? So the force, so here you have come here. One box is kept on the floor, heavy box. So it was kept long back, 1 hour back or 1 day back. So it was there. Now you try to push it. You are not able to push that because there is some friction. So this friction is called as static friction. Static friction. Static. This friction is developed because the object is stationary. The surfaces have irregularities. These irregularities, they pack it tightly. They get interlocked. And this kind of friction is called as static friction. Here also, here an object, somebody is pushing a box. So it is moving on. You also came and you joined, you are moving it. Somebody pulling a box and he has given the thread to you and he left. You are pulling it. So this friction is called as sliding friction. Here also friction we can find in this case, but this friction is called as sliding. And this is called as static friction. I'll give you one more example. Say somebody's car got stuck So the person is not able to start the car, the self-ignition is not working. So he wants somebody to push the car. So here is the car. Here is the car. So it needs a push from this. So push. So to start the car is stationary. You are pushing it. But initially to make the car get the movement, it will be very heavy. You have to put more force. You have to apply more force. But once the car comes into motion, then you can push it easily. Why? Because, so the first case, you have the static friction. When it is already moving, you have sliding friction. So what we understand here, sliding friction is comparatively less compared to the static friction. Static friction is more compared to sliding friction. Right? So because sliding friction, the object is moving, it cannot make proper interlocking with the irregularities of the other surface because there is no enough time. Just we are taking it off, we are moving it off. You are just dragging a table, you are just dragging a chair, you are dragging your book on the table. So when you are dragging it out, it has got some friction that is called as sliding friction. Right? So when an object is stationary at some place, whatever the force you apply to move that, it will be more compared to the sliding. Because in case of static friction, the two surfaces, they have irregularities which are very tightly packed up. So there you need to apply more force to make the object move. So that is the difference between static friction and sliding friction. So now let us discuss some advantages and disadvantages advantages and disadvantages of friction. So what do you think? Is friction helpful for us or it is a problem? In our day-to-day life, friction is very useful at many circumstances. You see that what are the advantages or what are the uses or where, how the friction helps us. Without friction, we cannot hold anything in our hand. See, I am able to hold this pen because there is some friction between my fingers and the surface of this pen. So it may look like very smooth. It is having a very soft, smooth finishing, even though it has got some irregularities. And even my fingers have got so many irregularities by which the contact of this pen and my hand makes a intact contact, so a tight contact, so by that I can hold this pen. Say, if I apply some grease or oil to this pen and if I try to hold it, it may be slipping. I may not be able to write here. So as I am writing here, there is some friction between the tip of this pen and this board. You may find that the board is very smooth without any irregularities, but still it has got irregularities. If the board has not got any irregularities, then I cannot write. So I am able to write because of the friction. You are able to write with a pencil on a paper because of the irregularities. So if you take your paper is so rough. Of course, you may feel it so smooth finished, but your paper, whatever you are writing, the paper in your notebook has got so many irregularities. That is the reason why you will be able to beautifully write with any kind of pen or a pencil. It's because of the irregularities. You can color with crayons because of irregularities. So when you are rubbing the crayon, what happens? The crayon got stuck to the paper. How? It is because the paper is very rough. When you are rubbing the crayon against the paper, the color is absorbed, the color is taken by the paper. The irregularities of the paper take the color. So, in this way, the friction helps us a lot. See, sometimes in the kitchen, If the glasses are made wet by oil, some oil stuck to the glasses, you cannot hold water in the glass. It will slip. So when you have full of oil to your hands, you cannot hold anything. You see in certain games they apply oil. So sometimes you see in certain games, if they apply oil to their bodies, they cannot hold. They cannot catch the person because it is very slippery. So there are so many instances where the friction helps. Sometimes where it becomes problematic. Let us see the advantages. The friction, we are able to write. I already told you this. We are able to write on a board with a chalk piece, or on a board with a marker, or on a paper with pencil or pen. It is because of the friction. We are able to walk. If there is no friction, you cannot walk. Just you will slide on and you will fall. If you are walking barefooted, there is friction between the floor and your leg. If you are walking with a slipper, you see the sole of your slipper will be having some design like this. You can observe this. Your slipper will be having this kind of design. Why that design is given? Why can't it be very flat? If it is flat, you may slip. It is given with some irregularities, so by that there will be more friction between the floor. You see the sport shoes, football shoes, they will be having more spikes under the shoe. That is to make an intact contact with the ground, firm contact with the ground. Right, when they are playing in the ground, they should have very good grip, the football players. So the sport shoes has got a design underneath, spiky design. So why this spiky design underneath for the shoe? The spiky design is to hold the ground firmly. So that is to walk, to write, to hold the things. We are able to light a matchstick. Matchstick, it is because of the friction. How do you light a matchstick? You take the matchstick out of the box. The matchstick will be having a head. You will rub the head against the side of the matchbox. So if this is the matchbox, on the sides the matchbox has got some design, rough design, coated with some chemical. And the matchstick will be having a head. The head is rubbed against. Because of the friction, the matchstick gets the fire. You can light a matchstick. And what are the advantages of friction? You can stop a vehicle. If there is no friction, you cannot stop a vehicle. We are applying brakes. The tires have got friction with the road. When you apply the brakes, the friction is more. It will make the vehicle to stop. If the friction is not there, you cannot stop the vehicles, you cannot control the vehicles, so by that accidents takes place. So these are a very few instances where we find the advantages of friction. But there are so many, a lot of advantages. You can make a note of all the advantages that we have with this friction in our day-to-day life. Now then, what are the disadvantages? So here we discussed it is very useful. Yes, friction is important. Without friction, we cannot perform many things. Then how we can say that it is, sometimes it is problematic. There are some disadvantages with that. Let us see. So the main disadvantage of the friction is wear and tear. So how this wear and tear happens? So I told you that when two surfaces come in contact, there is some friction. The friction, it generates heat. Friction generates heat. See, I wanted to rub my hands in this direction. Here my idea is to rub the hands. So I am applying force to rub the hands like this. I am spending energy to rub my hands. I wanted to make movement like this. But when I keep my hands in contact and my hands are moved in this way, along with the movement, something is done. Some heat is produced in my hands. Means the energy that I am spending to move my hands, some of the energy is converted to heat because of the friction. Actually, I don't want to produce any heat, just I wanted to move my hands like this. But actually what happens, the energy that I am spending to move my hand, some of the energy is converted to heat by friction. Right? In the same way, if you take a machine, the machine has got some task. See a mixer grinder in your house, a mixie. Your mother put some coconut into the mixie jar and other spices. She will grind it. Her idea is to make all the coconut and other spices to make it into a paste, a chutney. But if you find that if you run it for some 3 to 4 minutes, then if you touch the mixie jar, you will find it is hot. So your mother's idea is not to make the chutney hot. Her idea is to grind it. So she wanted to use the mixer to grind it. She is spending the electric energy to grind it. But some of the electric energy is converted to heat. It is unnecessary. Do we have any use with the heat produced in the mixie jar? No. It is unwanted wastage of electricity, energy. So we cannot avoid it. But how the heat is produced? Because when the blades are crushing the coconut and other spices, there is some friction between the blades and other things. So due to this friction, heat is generated. So here we find the friction as a disadvantage. So what happens? Energy is wasted. And moreover, because of the friction, the blades get spoiled after a few days. They lose their sharpness. Sometimes the bearing which is there under, it gets spoiled. See, if this is the mixer jar, here are the blades. So these blades, they get spoiled, and here the whatever the shaft is there connected to the blades, this shaft, it has got bearings. The bearings get damaged, wear and tear. And what is the other disadvantage? Loss of energy in the form of heat. In the form of heat, heat is dissipated out. So this is happening. Because of the friction, the energy that is spent, the force that is used to make a task, some of the energy is generated or produced in the form of heat. So that is the wastage. It is caused because of the friction. Right? So you are dragging some object on the floor. When you are dragging, when the two surfaces are in contact, some heat is generated. So whatever the force you are using, the force is not only used to bring the object, some of the energy is wasted because of the friction. So in many machines, you see machinery get heated up. Even your bike, when it is running, it gets heated up. Or the gear wheels, they get heated up. So why they get heated up? When they are in contact and sliding on each other, then there is a lot of friction and heat is generated. So this heat is loss of energy. Second thing, objects get worn out. Cycle bearings, motorbike bearings. So as they are rubbing the surfaces on each other, they get worn out because of the friction. You have to replace them. Otherwise there will be sound and noise is produced. You see, sometimes you will find some noise from your fan, ceiling fan. So after a few days you have bought a new fan, okay, fine, working for some 6 months or 8 months or 1 year. After that, sometimes it will give some sound, cranky sound. So what is the problem? You consult that electrical person, electrician, he will find out some bearings are spoiled. So it is because of the friction, the sound is produced. So because of friction, sound is produced, noise is produced, and heat is produced. This is the wastage of energy. You know that sound and heat, both are forms of energy. Noise is produced. Heat is produced and noise is produced. These two are not required. You don't expect any music from your ceiling fan. Just you expect air. But your fan is producing some sound. It is unnecessary wastage of energy because of the friction. Right? You don't expect any heat from your fan. But fan becomes hot. After you switch off the fan, if you touch and see that, it's very hot. Heat is produced because of the friction. These two are unnecessary. You want only your fan to give some cool air. So in performing that task, the energy is wasted in the form of heat, wasted in the form of noise. It is because of the friction. So these are the disadvantages of the friction, right? So here we observed, in case of some fan or a mixie, everywhere you can identify this. If you go to factories, if you see the machinery, they're all working, lot of heat is produced. So there is lots and lot of energy is wasted in the form of heat and sound. You go near a factory, you go near a machinery, you can't hear anything, you can't talk to other person also, that much noise is produced. It's all because of the friction. You see your bike, your dad's bike or your bicycle tires get worn out after a few days. Some 6 months you are riding your bicycle, the tire will be worn out. You will get a patch. You see that. The person tells that the tire got worn out, the threading. So you have to get a new tire. Why it is wearing off? When you are riding the cycle on the road, there is friction between road and your tire. So in this rubbing, the materials are worn or torn. So your clothes, you have bought new clothes, and after you wear for 2 days or 1 day, you will put it in the washing machine, or they are washed with applying force, brushing and all. So after the next wash, you will find that the colors are little bit faded. And after some 10 washes, 20 washes, the quality of the cloth is lost. After 30 washes, your clothes, new clothes become torn. Why they are torn? Because of the friction. So when they are put in the washing machine, between the machine and the cloth, there is a friction. If your mother is rubbing with a brush, brushing the clothes, there is friction between the brush and your clothes, right? In this way, the friction, it will cause wear and tear. So you are writing with a pencil, the pencil lead, after writing some 1 or 2 pages, you have to mend it again. The pencil lead is worn out. It is because of the friction. So there are so many n number of instances where you can observe the friction causes the wear and tear. The friction causes the noise. You rub the chalk piece on the board, you get some sound. Noise is produced. You rub your hands, heat is produced. So these are all the disadvantages which are not required. We don't want this. We don't want anything to be worn out. We don't want any heat to be produced out of these mixies and fans. We don't want any noise to be produced from this machinery. But even then it happens. But is there any solution? Can we reduce the loss of energy in the form of heat? Can we reduce the wear and tear? Can we reduce the noise produced from the machinery? Is there any solution? So these are all unwanted. We don't want these. But these are happening because of the friction. So in these cases, can we reduce the friction? Is there any possibility? Yes. Let us see what is that. Now let us see increasing and decreasing friction. Is it possible to increase friction, decrease friction? We have seen advantages, disadvantages. That means in some cases we need more friction, in some cases we need less friction. Let us see how to increase the friction first. So in the part of increasing, where we need more friction, at which cases we need more friction? The first thing we see here is brakes. So see that for a bicycle or a motorbike or a car, the brakes must be functioning properly. Otherwise, cannot be saved from accidents. Suddenly, something may come on the way. So we have to stop our vehicle. At that point, we apply the brakes. If the brakes fail, it leads to accident. So brakes are very important. Good grip is very important. You see here, to stop the vehicle, at 2 points the friction is very important. One point is between tires and road. So at this point, it's very important. And what is the other point? Between wheel, rim and brake pads. Brake pads. But of course, this technology is being changed now. Nowadays, we are finding hydraulic brakes. So which works differently. We are talking about a traditional braking system. Traditional braking system in the sense, every vehicle will have a rim, and to that rim there will be a center hub. Inside the hub, there you will find brake pads. So these brake pads, they will just get it tighten the hub so that the wheel is stopped. So the brake pads, they apply pressure on the wheel to stop rolling. So in this way the brake works. I'll explain you. And you might have seen cycle. This is the cycle. This is the cycle hub. These are the spokes. These are the spokes. And this is the hub. So anyway, we don't have any parts in this hub if it is a cycle. This is the rim. This is called as a rim. And above the rim, you will be having the tire. The tire is not smooth. The tire has got so many irregularities called threading. Threading. What is the threading? The design on the tire is called as threading. It is important. I will tell you why it is important later. Here these are the spokes. This is the rim. Now, for a cycle braking system, here is the brake pads. Brake pads. This is the brake pad. This is the rim. You are pedaling the cycle. The wheel is rolling. The rim is rolling. But when you wanted to stop the vehicle, stop the cycle, I told that at 2 points friction is required. One is between the tire and the road. The other is between wheel rim and the brake pads. These are the brake pads. The brake is applied. These brake pads, they will go up like this. They will come in contact with the rim. Because of the friction, the brake pads are made up of rubberized material. So this rubberized material will have more friction. It will come in contact with the rim, so by that the rotation of the wheel is stopped. This is one point. What is the second point at which friction is needed? So here, between the tire and the road, when you stop it here the friction becomes more. Between the tire and the road, the bicycle is stopped. Say, if your brake pads are worn out, your brake pads are very soft without irregularities, even though you apply brakes, the rim will be moving and you cannot stop the bicycle. Your brake pads are good. You applied brake, but your tire threading, the design on the tire is worn out. If the tire becomes old, the threading becomes old. Then what happens? Then you will apply the brake, the wheel will stop rotating, but the bicycle cannot be stopped. It will skid on the road. See, sometimes if you are riding a bicycle with worn out tires, if you apply the brake suddenly, the cycle will skid. Even the car, any vehicle, if the tires have a completely worn out threading, if they apply the brakes, the wheels of the car can be stopped, but car cannot be stopped because of inertia. It's another kind of force. So the car will be dragged off, skidding. You might have experienced skidding. So that is the reason the friction is important at 2 points. One is to stop the wheel. The second thing is the wheel must have good contact with the road. If it happens, you can safely stop the vehicle. So that is the reason you see that the wheels of a monster truck, you know monster trucks, monster truck. Generally, we don't see these monster trucks in our country. In other countries, there will be a race with the monster trucks. It will be having very big wheels. The wheels will have very big design because they will be making some tricks with the car. So it needs a lot of friction. We see tractors. In our country, we see tractors which are used for farming. The tractor will be having will be having a tire like this, big tires. Back wheels, they will have heavy tires with heavy threading, because the tractor will go to the mud into the field. The field is so wet and muddy. So there the tractor has to move. The tractor is used for plowing, seeding, other activities. So there it has to move in the loose soil. It has to move in the mud soil. Then it needs more friction. So the friction of this tractor tire is increased by keeping more threading. So if you want more grip to your tires, you select a tire which has got more threading, more design, more button. Sometimes it is called as buttoning, sometimes it is called threading. See that your tire has got more buttoning, more design. Then you will have good grip, right? That is the reason you see the tires of sports bike. It will be having more threading even to the sides also, because they will bend the bike. Even then they don't skid because of the design. So that is, in this way you can increase the friction. Friction is important in these cases. Sometimes you see in certain games, the players, they apply some powder to the hands for a good grip. Gymnastics. When they perform gymnastics, they will be holding many things in their hand and jumping. So if it slips there, their show gets spoiled, they may get hurt. So they need a very good grip with the poles they are holding. So they apply some coarse powder, gymnastics. Even in the play called kabaddi, when the kabaddi player is going, he has to catch the person. Then they have to hold the person who has come to touch them. So for a better grip, they will apply soil. So because of the soil, the hand becomes rough. So by that, when he holds the person, he can hold him tightly. Otherwise, as they are playing up, their hands may be sweating. Because of the sweat, the person may get slipped off. So that is to get more friction, they apply the soil to their hands. So these are the ways by which we can increase the friction. But let us see the decreasing friction. We cannot decrease the friction totally. You cannot neutralize the friction. If the friction is neutral, you cannot stop anything. Everything will be moving on. Because the friction, what? It makes the object stand still. Right? Otherwise, if friction is completely not there, then if you touch an object, it will be moving on. It doesn't stop. So, but there are certain ways by which you can decrease the friction. Here we have seen there are so many ways by which we can increase the friction. In the same way, we have some techniques, some kind of technology to decrease the friction. Let us see what it is. So, decreasing friction. Decreasing friction. So what are the circumstances where we need to decrease the friction? I already told you that in machinery, when you are running a machinery, a fan or a mixie, any home appliance or any factory machinery, the energy that is used to run the machinery, it is converted to heat and sound, noise, because of the friction. So to reduce that, we can use some medium called as lubricants. Lubricants. Lubricant, it can be either oil or it can be grease or it can be graphite or it can be air or water. Anything. But in rare cases, water is used and air, water are used in rare cases. Generally, in most of the cases, oil is used. So why this oil is used as a lubricant or grease is used? Let us see. We know that the surfaces, they have got some irregularities. When oil is applied, the oil is applied like this. So what happened? The irregular surfaces are filled by this oil. So the surface has become smooth. When you are opening your door, if you find a creaky sound, you are opening your door, some creaky sound, you're closing it. So your mother tells to put 1 or 2 drops of coconut oil in the hinges of your door. If you put the oil, the sound stops. So if you take your bicycle to the bicycle repair shop and you say that some sound coming from the chain or some other place, he will put some lubricant oil. You see the sewing machine, they will stitch the cloths, the tailors. So if you go to a tailor, then with him you will find a bottle like this. So what does he do with that oil? He will put the oil in the machine to reduce the sound. So in the bike engine, there is a lot of sound comes from the bike engine and heat also produced. In the engine, they will keep the engine oil. For bikes, cars, trucks, buses, lorries, for every vehicle, they keep oil in the engine. They keep oil, they keep coolant oils. These oils will absorb the heat. These oils, they reduce the friction. So the oils will be in different grades. Thin oil. For a small vehicle, thin oil. For heavy vehicles like tractors and JCB machines, they will put very thick oil. It's very thick. Because it depends upon how much heat and sound is produced. So in this way, different grades of engine oils are used in the engines and machinery to reduce the sound as well as heat. So by that we can reduce the friction. Grease. In some of the parts like suspensions and at the nut and bolt joints in the vehicles, at those places, if they keep oil, the oil will be easily dried up quickly. So in such parts, they will apply grease. Grease is a sticky material. It's a ghee-like material. You might have experienced ghee. So it is just like a condensed oil form, the grease. Grease is applied. So by that we can reduce the wearing, we can reduce the sound, we can reduce the heat. Some places there is no possibility to apply oil and grease in some cases. So there they use graphite powder. The graphite is used to make your pencil leads, right? Your pencil lead, the tip of your pencil is graphite. Sometimes when you are putting a plug in the switch box, it will be very tight to pull on, to put. So there they will apply graphite powder, pencil lead. So then you can easily put and you can easily remove. You can reduce the friction. So graphite is used in certain machineries to reduce the friction. Some places they cannot use graphite also. They cannot use oil or grease. There they use a cushion of air to reduce the friction. In some cases, the water is used to reduce the friction. So in this way, whatever the medium which we are using to reduce the friction, it is a lubricant. How the lubricant works? When the lubricant is added, it will fill up the irregularities of the surface and it tries to make the surface more flat compared to the previous one. So because of this flattening, the sliding will be easier and the sliding friction is very less. So this is how we can reduce the friction. Sometimes you see the games like caroms board. When you are playing caroms, there are coins and striker. To make the coins roll easily, quickly, there you will apply some powder. Right? So you may get a doubt, how can a powder decrease the friction? So if you put the powder, you think that it will bring irregularities, then it will increase the friction. No. Basically, the board will be having irregularities. When you put some powder, the irregularities will be locked. Say for example, this is the caroms board, the surface of the caroms board. If you put some powder, the powder will fill the irregularities. So whenever your coin is there, it will easily move, it will easily slide because of the powder. The powder is filling the irregularities. So in this way, we can reduce the friction. Sometimes when you are dragging an object, there will be more friction between the object and the ground. So what do? Then you will use another technique using wheels. See, you will find very hard to carry your luggage. If your luggage is a stroller with wheels, it is easier to pull on. On the platform, you can easily drag. If it is having wheels, if it doesn't have wheels, you have to drag so hard, it will get worn out. Otherwise, you have to carry it on your head top, or you have to hold it. You have to lift the heavy weight. But easily you can drag with the help of wheels. So that is the reason many of the items, chairs, heavy tables, they are having wheels. If the boxes are heavy, the luggage is heavy, the cargo is heavy, so the cargo is placed on a trolley. Trolley will be having the wheels, you will be dragging it. So you have gone to a shopping mall, there you will take a cart. So why the cart? All your groceries, all your veggies, everything you can put it in the cart, you can easily take it wherever you want. If the cart is not having wheels, you have to drag all the way. It produces creaky sound, it produces heat, it will damage the parts and your energy is wasted. So all this can be reduced by using wheels. We can reduce friction. So now here we have seen different types of friction. When an object is steady or stationary on another surface, then there is some friction between the two objects. We called it as static friction. When an object is sliding on the other object, there is some friction between the two objects. We called it as sliding friction. So when one object is sliding on the other object, it is difficult to slide. We need to apply more force. Then if you use some wheels, even then there is some friction between the two objects, but that friction is called as rolling friction. Here is a heavy box like this. A heavy box is here. So this box is on the ground. The friction between the box and the ground is static friction. Now, somebody is pulling this box. Somebody is pulling. It is moving. It is sliding friction. So, for the same box, in this case, some wheels are fixed, right? So in the first instance, when you try to move this box, it's very heavy. You have to apply more force. That means the static friction is more compared to the sliding friction, because you need not apply the force. How much force you have applied to move the stationary object, stationary box? You can apply less force than this to slide for a sliding object, right? It shows that the sliding friction is less than the static friction. You need not apply the same amount of force which you have applied to move a steady object. When an object is getting sliding, then if you try to move further, then you can apply less force compared to static in this case. So the static friction is more compared to sliding friction, right? So here we are sliding, just we are pulling the box. There is friction, you will get some noise between the ground and the box. The box get damaged if you drag like that. So here in this case we arranged some wheels. It is much easier. In this way, to carry the box, it is much easier with wheels instead of just pulling. Here is also some friction between the wheels and the ground, but this friction is less than the sliding friction. This is called rolling friction, right? You know that in olden days, when there was no machinery, when there were no vehicles for construction or transport, Then they used to carry very heavy items for construction. Say for example, these kind of huge granite blocks. Because olden temples and forts were constructed by using granite rocks, huge boulders. So very huge boulder. It has to be carried to the place where the construction goes on. How? No heavy trucks, no heavy cranes, no heavy lifts to take this. So the kings, they used to carry these rocks by appointing these huge animals. You might have noticed these big elephants. So the elephants, they'll be pulling these heavy rocks. Here there is a special arrangement. The rock is placed on a plank. Below the plank, they used to keep the wooden logs. So the wooden logs, they roll. If the elephant has to carry or pull this granite rock alone without these rollers, it will be very hard. But that time they used the technology. So they made that sliding friction to rolling friction, which is less, which is a bit easier to carry. You can do the same. Just if you keep a heavy book, a heavy dictionary or an encyclopedia on the table and try to move it, it is very hard. Just if you keep some 4 to 5 pencils, round pencils, and keep the book on the pencils and just you with your finger you can move it. Earlier it was very hard to move with hand. Now with a finger you can move it. So you kept the rollers. So these rollers, they convert that sliding friction to rolling friction. So rolling friction is simple. That is the reason for the heavy objects to move, the wheels are fixed. This is called as rolling friction. So we can change the friction, one type of friction to another type with some arrangements. So by that, we can go for the option which is having less friction. You can either drag the box like this, you can arrange some wheels. But which is beneficial? This is the beneficial case. Because of the wheels, you can easily drag it. The box is not getting spoiled. So here we are applying the wheels. So here the friction that is found between the wheels and the road is called as rolling friction. So now let us look at the fluid friction. So far we have discussed about solid objects, the surfaces of solid objects, they come in contact and there they get interlocking. So by that the friction is developed. So now we are going to talk about fluid friction. What is a fluid? What are fluids? Fluid is nothing but liquids. Liquids are called fluids and gases are also called as fluids. So both the liquids and gases are called as fluids. So fluid is a term used to define liquids and gases. It doesn't mean that the mixture of liquids and gases. Liquids as well as gases, they are generally called as fluids. You can call the liquids in general as a fluid, you can call the gases as a fluid. So it's a common name for both these liquids and gases. When some objects are moving in this liquid or gas, they will have some frictional force. They will experience some friction. So the friction that is experienced by an object, either in the liquid or in a gas, is called as drag. A submarine is moving in the water. A fish is swimming in the water. The fish will have some friction with the water. A diver is diving in the water. He will have some friction with the water. A ship is moving in the water. The ship will have some friction with the water. In the air, an aeroplane is going, a bird is flying, a glider is going. So they have some friction with the air. Right? So the meteors, heavy rocks from the external part of the that other side of the universe, that is from the space. They fall onto the earth. This is the earth. Sometimes certain meteors, they come towards the earth. These meteors, they may hit the earth. But what happens? The earth is surrounded by atmosphere, air. When these meteors or rocky material enters the atmosphere, due to the friction of the air, they are burnt into ashes. So by that they are not hitting the earth. So see how useful the friction. The friction is protecting life on the earth. So these rocks and other particles, those whoever comes onto the earth, they are burnt because of the friction. So here, come back here. I told in case of liquids, in case of water, ships, submarines, fishes, these are all having friction with the water. In gas, aeroplanes, gliders, birds, they all have friction. So friction, it will stop. The energy is wasted because of the friction. So how can we reduce friction in these cases, in case of fluid friction? Between two solid objects, by applying some lubricant, we can reduce friction. But in this case, here we have liquids and gases. So what we can apply here to reduce the friction? The friction in fluids is based on two things. One is speed. Second thing is shape. Shape of the object. So the objects are designed in a special shape, so by that the friction is reduced. Right? Say here, if the object is having a flat front like this, it is moving in the air, it will have more surface coming in contact with the air, so there is more friction. But if it is having a sharp point, it will have less friction. That is the reason you see aeroplanes, they have this kind of snout. So the air passes like this. The pointed head, it will cut the air. The friction is less. This kind of shaping is called as streamlined. Streamlined. What is the streamlining? Pointed heads. You see the shape of a boat or a ship. Ship will be like this. So it will be having a pointed front so that it can cut the water easily. Boat, it will have a shape like this. See the pointed, it will cut the water easily. If you see a bird, bird will be having a beak like this and head like this. It will cut the air. It has got a streamlined shape. So the special shape helps these objects which move in air and water to reduce the friction. Naturally, fishes have a streamlined body. Naturally, birds have a streamlined body. So whatever the vehicles we are developing, like a ship or a submarine or a steamer or a boat, we are making their shapes to streamline. So the streamlined ones easily can cut the water. The aeroplanes, helicopter, glider, all these are made in streamlined shapes. So by that they can easily cut the air. So the special shape helps the objects to reduce the fluid friction, the friction in air and in water. So this is how we can reduce the friction, and we have seen how we are benefited because of the friction and what happens if there is no frictional force, and at the same time how the frictional force is disadvantageous, causes problems, and what are the methods and techniques by which we can reduce the frictional force, friction, by using lubricants and by using different techniques. So by understanding, by studying this lesson friction, we can get rid of the unnecessary waste of energy, unnecessary waste of the energy in the form of heat or sound, and we can save energy. So there are so many technologies which you will learn in your higher classes, the applications of friction, right? So here we understood the benefits as well as the disadvantages. So what do you say now? Is friction a friend or an evil? Is friction necessary, a necessity or an evil? You say both. We have to say both, right? Friction is necessary. At the same time, there are some bad effects or disadvantages. But with the help of technology, we can overcome the disadvantages, or at least we can reduce the impact or effect of the disadvantages caused by the friction.